nowhere from looks of it. And let's go up and see the Golden Grove. Bledha, I'm looking for
Many
you.
blessings, traveler.
The elf holds a chipped wooden pipe. The sweet smoke wafting from the bowl makes you dizzy. Welcome, Estremore. I've got herbs and potions for sale. Looking for something to ease your travels or something to make them more interesting? When she grins, you see her teeth and gums are stained brown. So how interesting are we talking here? White leaf. Nice way to spend an afternoon and the following night and most of the next day. I hear that you can make certain poisons. She takes a deep draw on her pipe. Poisons? I only deal in tonics to heal and enlighten. She exhales a puff of smoke. Of course, many beneficial substances can be harmful when taken in great quantities, but that's just Oretha's way of keeping all things in balance. Really? What kind of substances? She leans against a winding tree trunk and ticks the items off on her fingers. Oh, there's plenty. Concentrated coral golem, undistilled spider venom, rotten blood moss extract, cave coral mixed with skein bone. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta choose the poison? Can you recommend me one? Undistilled spider venom, because it's venom. She stops counting and scratches her head. What would you want with something like that? I'm gonna screw this up, aren't I? Shrug. I just thought I'd experiment with it, see what happens. Man. Her eyes brighten. An herbalist yourself, are you? Here, take this. She gives you a vial filled with a dark fluid. Should keep you busy for a while. Only use a little at a time and see that it doesn't get misplaced. Half that dose would kill an Amwa. Slowly, perhaps, but surely. Okay, so half that dose would kill a Amawa. I should do it then, I would imagine. She taps ash from her pipe into the grass. Was there anything else I could do for you? I'd like to see your stocks. You probably don't have anything I want, but... Tiny Sporling. Despite its off-putting toothy maw and dead eyes, this little Sporling is oddly affectionate for a fungal mass. It waddles after you at unexpected speed. Oh, you get one of those little tiny... mushroom people to follow you around. Cat 2, take a break. Go in a litter box or something.
Hey.
Oh, you make the little fungus noise, so... That might get annoying after a while. We'll try it for a bit. That's gonna get old, but that's really funny. You're thinking of buying this game, recommend it? Well, this is my first time through it, and I'm probably over halfway through it so far. I am liking it a lot. Have you ever played Baldur's Gate? Out of curiosity. It's very much like Baldur's Gate, but it's obviously got a different system. If you like games that have a lot of world building in it, there's a lot of world building in this one. There's a lot of reading, but it's got a really decent combat system.
Hail, Estremore.
It's very long, too. Yes. You seek the wisdom of our herbalists or simply to bask in Oretha's glory? Who leads your order? High Ovate Arona leads us. She sometimes journeyed to Umshore to renew her strength, however. She's there now with some of her closest followers, in fact. Arona is a mighty elm among us. She's lived for generations. There are none who understand the world as well as she, and we are fortunate to have her wisdom to answer our questions. Yeah, plus I'll also say it's going to be worth your money just in value because it's very, very long. Especially with the DLC in it. I'd like to know more about Arona. Her eyes brighten. Why, you must meet her for yourself. She is wise and kind, and she has led her order from the beginning, as she walks amongst us and gives freely of herself. She turns her gaze to the great twisting elms. That is what so many of us cherish about her. She is present among us in a way that the gods never are. Tell me about the Golden Grove. We are the Ovates, druids, philosophers, and students of nature. We gather here to share our knowledge and celebration. She gestures to another elven woman standing near the entrance to the grove. Many travelers come to us for poultices and remedies. Bledha understands the cures and poisons of nature like no other. What do you believe? We believe that knowledge is found in the earnest exploration of the natural world. She tilts her head. We do not, as some have said, oppose the gods. We simply believe that we have found a brighter, more peaceful path in devotion. I must go. Yeah, I agree. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. And it's got a sequel that's supposed to be even better in a lot of ways. From everything I've heard, I've never actually played the sequel yet, but Sundev probably knows a lot more about it than I do. Two identical women seem to fade into view as they move away from the great trees that camouflage them. Their skin is tree bark, ridged and scaly, wreathed in a curling tangle of roots, buds, and blooms. Their hair hangs beneath the shade of serrated leaves like drooping branches of the elms above. The pupils of their eyes are encircled by hundreds or even thousands of concentric rings, as if to mark the accumulated wisdom of millennia.
Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the elms.
Well, excuse the hell out of me.
Do you not feel it, sister? Something familiar. An ancient soul, like the other one. Another defiler, no doubt. Let us fell him and be troubled no more. It would pay the debt of his predecessor.
There's not enough of you here to fell me.
So it would seem, Rhiannon. But we must not hasten to judgment. I see a different motive here. Different questions in these eyes.
What of it, young trespasser? Is it as my sister says? Or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds?
I have forgotten my purpose in the presence of such legendary beauty. Have I begun hallucinating in double? No. I seek a man who came through here. It sounds as though you've already met him.
There! By his own admission, Sheetha.
Really, sister? And you wonder why your leaves begin to fall out before midsummer. Clearly that man did not want to be followed. Whatever the relationship here, I suspect it is anything but cordial. The answer is yes, old one. We crossed paths with Theos not long ago, and we can tell you where he went. But I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious, even. If we are to help you find him, we would know why.
Stopping him might end Widewind's legacy.
So that is the reason he passed this way. This is low, even for the Leaden Key.
Yes, definitely. I agree with that. You should definitely play this one before it.
I told you we should have confronted him, Sheetha. He has always been a poison.
It would have been the last thing we ever did, sister. Who can be said to have ever gotten the better of Theos?
Yes, but imagine how much fun it would have been. Can't you just picture him all strung up in vines like an angry little puppet?
But that's not what this is really about, is it? You are bound to that man. I see it now. You are awakened. Your soul is awake, and something once buried deep now wells to the surface. Past overwhelms present, closes in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end.
I just need to get to Theos.
I am sorry to tell you this, but Theos cannot give you what you seek. Nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone.
What's she mean? I thought Mirwald said... Zagani's gaze flickers to you. I'm sorry. Medicio, there must be some way. To be chained to such a past, her face is pale, her eyes hollow. A bitter and grievous thing. Watch her. So this has all been for nothing, and I'm going to lose my mind. Sounds like a Friday.
The soul is formless without a past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away?
No, but I hoped it would be something I could forget. Like a Friday. Mercy to be sure, but how can you grant mercy to a soul that had already judged itself guilty?
However, as much as my sister speaks truly that there is no way back from an awakening, there may yet be a way forward. Would you agree, Shiva?
I would. Were the way not so likely to end in death.
Yeah, I'm still like intrigued about Baldur's Gate 3, but I think that's also because I never actually played Divinity yet at all. I mean, I'm kind of like either or on it. Like, I'm gonna miss the classical feel for sure, but I don't know. I'll give it a shot to see how it is. It looked intriguing, but like I said, all that stuff's new to me anyway because I've never even played Divinity yet. How's it going, Forza, by the way? What is it?
The man Theos you must already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within you, festering, unresolved. What it is I cannot see any more than you. And without that knowledge, your doom is certain.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try it. I have absolutely no idea when I'll actually get to it. Because I've got so many games in a backlog as it is right now as it is, but eventually I will get to it. You were looking for a Baldur's Gate type game, basically. Yeah, I get you.
But were you to learn the source of this discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it will trouble you as much now as it did then, and merely speed your condition to its end.
My past comes to me in pieces. How do I unlock the rest?
You might wait for it to come on its own, of course. But when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition.
Excuse me.
Or you could learn it from someone who already knows.
Theos, would he remember?
It is said the gods made his memory perfect, that he may never forget his charge. If he ever knew, he still does.
Not that he would tell you, of course.
You have followed the right person for the wrong reason, it seems. We see it often beneath the elms. The soul dragging mind and body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons. You may have wandered into Theos' path many times, in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you why.
Thank you for the follow, Forza. Very much appreciated, thank you. Yeah, this game is very beautiful. I'm totally glad I played this, and it's been very long, but I've loved every minute of it. it's totally been worth the fact that I don't think I've streamed anything else for like the last month. It's taken me a long time to go through it because I'm reading so much of it, like out loud, but I absolutely love it. Like I've said it before, I've been debating playing the sequel immediately after this, but I think I'm actually going to go straight into 2 when I get done with this. Like, I want more of it.
The only thing that's certain is you did not find what you sought.
You said you know where he went.
He has gone down beneath the tower to a place older than we, where the people of Engwith once walked. He makes his way to the buried city, Sun and Shadow.
May he stay down there and rot with the remains of his people.
He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came, that much is certain. He opened a secret path in the tower's base, and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means.
Awesome, we'll be happy to have you. Is there another way to get to him?
We know of one. On the burial isle, through the court of the penitents, Braeth Yaman. A shortcut, in fact.
Yeah, I pretty much stream usually 8 a.m. Eastern till about 11 or noon, depending on how much sleep I've gotten the previous day. But yeah, usually Monday through Fridays I'm here. I don't cast on the weekends, but you can usually find me then.
Don't be cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks of is not for the faint of heart. A great pit at the center of a forgotten court, where faiths were judged in place of crimes. To most, it is simply a gateway to death. With the help of the gods, it can take you where you want to go.
And thank you also for the follow, Dargor94. Very appreciated. I have to jump into a pit? Is this some trick?
Oh, sister. If only we'd thought to trick Theos into jumping.
And also, I should throw out there, I don't do it very often, but if anyone's ever around at night, I do occasionally do night streams, depending on what I have going on with work. I actually am self-employed. I work from home. And I want to start actually doing some retro streams again. It's what I was doing prior to June or so. So if you're ever up in the middle of the night, you might occasionally find me streaming retro stuff. So something to bear in mind.
No trick, I'm afraid. Though without the proper preparations, the fall will certainly kill you.
If you're into that, retro isn't everyone's cup of tea.
The pit is said to have been a means of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It is that way you must pass to reach Sun and Shadow. The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem only the gods themselves can grant passage.
What is this court?
No more than a ruin now. It is older than we. A place for the trial of heretics. We were not here to witness it, but at one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods. Neither the first nor the last, of course, but these were numerous and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast into the pit and imprisoned below.
Golden Axe and River City Ransom. Yeah, for a while I was actually doing a beat 'em up theme day during the week, but I haven't had time to get back into it lately. I stream. I recently purchased a game on Steam. Looking forward to it, but I haven't had time to play it. Well, thank you very much, Dargor. Yeah, it's I had the same problem. I bought it on Steam and it was actually sitting there for a long time in my backlog because I never got around to playing it. Actually, this was the first game I was ever going to stream. But I couldn't do it at the time. I had a laptop and it wasn't capable of running this plus streaming at the same time. Built a new computer beginning of June, and I just decided that since this was the first game I was going to stream way back when, I needed to go through it on stream eventually here, so I just decided to go ahead and start it. Did I ever play any of the Yakuza games? Oh my god. Forza. I am obsessed. Obsessed with Yakuza now. I just started playing. I played Zero and I played Kiwami on Xbox Game Pass a while back. And I'm working on Kiwami 2. I haven't been streaming it. I'm actually really regretting not streaming them. But it was something I was kind of picking at when I had free time. Oh my god, I love Yakuza. It's like my new guilty pleasure. Absolutely in love with it. Zero, you're right. Zero is amazing. How's it going, Tenwin? It's important that I walk into the room just ahead with Durance. You arrived just in time. I'm glad you told me that. I'll make a stop back at the inn and get him then for that.
The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not for people, but for their souls. And their sentences were eternal. It is said that many of the condemned repented and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service to one of them. But these are old legends.
How would I ever get the gods to help me?
Behind us is Ter Evron, said to pierce the shroud itself and a place of communion with all gods. If ever there was a time for prayer, you have found it.
Yakuza is one of those games where you get whiplash from the tone shifts. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that drew me to it. Like, it's so, like, the main story in the ones I've played was so intense, and then you've got just this wacky, crazy stuff going on the side. And I don't even know how, but it works. It just works. So the only way to get through this pit is to pray for help?
Not the only way. Just the only one that doesn't end with your body impaled on jagged rocks.
Who would I pray to? Any god you can, I should think.
I would pray first to those gods you like best. I hope for your sake, the feeling is shared.
Is there no other way?
None.
How do I pray?
Ter Evron is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us the allegiances of the gods. When stars are in conjunction, we know the gods they represent are aligned as well.
Yeah, but I mean like instruction booklet. Do you have one?
You should choose a place to pray where you'll be closest to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for all gods expect proper homage, and none has patience for fools.
Like 10 seconds ago, I was in the middle of a positive disco Katrine session. Now I am deadline with killings for the Yakuza, or I will be tortured to near death. Karaoke. I was trying to figure out what Katrine was. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, if Yakuza Collection, or whatever it's going to be called, Yakuza 3, 4, and 5, come out on PC, I may stream them. I'm actually really wishing... I may one day go back and do Zero on stream. I always was terrible at karaoke and that. I could do the disco dancing in Zero, though. I actually beat Asobi and the other guy. I was really proud of myself for doing it, too. Like, I was... like, oh, I just did something that was pretty damn difficult. And I did it with a controller. It wasn't working that great.
What do you wish to know?
How did you know I was pursuing Theos?
The same way that you are no doubt able to peer into the ether and experience the souls of others. It is something we are born with.
Is it Maybelline?
Some more, some less. A gift common to many creatures of the wilds. You share certain similarities with the man you pursue. For your sake, I pray they are few and of no consequence.
You mentioned that people come to these elms without knowing why. A soul has a will all its own. Its needs and whims are seldom understood, but they follow them all the same.
There is something about this place that reaches beyond our understanding, something like a beacon. The elms have a way of uniting souls that have been seeking one another, with or without their owner's awareness. Sometimes it is for love, sometimes for vengeance, sometimes for peace. Often it is for no reason we will ever know. In your case, let us hope it is for peace.
Maybe the best Yakuza player this world's ever seen. More like I got really, really lucky.
Or vengeance.
I want to know about the two of you.
There is little to be said about us, for we are bound here, caretakers and defenders of this place. Our journey has been over time but not distance, measured in observations but not experiences. We have seen the elms grow tall. We have seen cities built, burned, and built again. The only constant has been the tower, a silent companion through the ages. You can imagine why this recent destruction has stirred my sister so.
So this is going to move the main story along, right, Tenwen? Because if it does, I'm going to wait on this one a little bit and check out the rest of Twin Elms first.
If you do nothing else, make that man pay for what he did here.
I need to know about praying for the support of the gods. I still have not gotten instructions.
We will tell you what we can.
Oh, actually, I have already. Okay, farewell.
Before you go, tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him? What would give you peace?
I wish to undo the harm he's caused.
You would need to have twice as many lifetimes as he to repair his savage work.
But perhaps there are strides you can make.
All the same, think on this matter. Be assured in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not just to his soul, but to yours. And be warned. Some questions have answers that can never be learned, and it is those that trouble the soul above all others.
Yeah, it would be wild to be an elf and live for that long. Think of all the things you could get done.
May you find an answer to yours.
I could actually get through my game backlog if I lived for 2,000 years. Okay, yeah, I love you, little fun guy, but you making that little noise is gonna get old real quick. You know who we haven't seen in a while? We haven't seen Little Jaws. Little Jaws the Beagle's back.
Hey.
Alright, yeah. We're gonna wait before we go through that door for a bit. Blood Sands. Let's go take a look at Blood Sands. Are you sure of what you claim? I hope that the sacrifices would have waned. With the frontiers open again, I assure you we'll need much war paint in the coming season. Supplicant. There is no greater honor than dying for one's tribe. If some fall in battle, how is this different? There is a warrior's lounge nearby. There is a quest in that lounge. Go inside the quest, take the quest, don't complain, and don't hurt anyone. Just take the quest. There's something really fun you can do if you do this. Wait, is it that area with the guy that wants me to kidnap the baby? The Ethic Knoll welcome your presence, supplicants. I've actually been there already. Kidnapping a baby would be pretty evil. Yeah, he wanted me to kidnap a baby, and I told him I wasn't interested. And then his son came up and wanted me to poison him instead. And he said that he's not next in line because it's not going to work like that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to poison your dad then. And I went and talked to the woman that you get the poison from. And I ended up getting spider venom from her. You can kidnap the baby and keep it, making her show up in the second game. Wait a minute, that's an option? Oh, I'm actually intrigued by that. I may do that. The baby will be safe with me. A dwarven man stands motionless near the roaring fire that lights the cavern. Your sacrifice feeds the land, supplicants, come forth. A gust of smoke curls around him, licking the charred flesh that bulges on his forearms. They suddenly flex. Estremor, the dwarf holds his fist in a tight grip. Your kin doesn't come here to share with the tribes. What do you want? What's this place? Blood sands. The dwarf picks on his scarred forearm. His guttural sigh mingles with the crackling of wood and bones behind him. As I said, Estremornan rarely visit our halls. Glenfathans call this place Blood Sands. We call it home. The Ethic Knoll have tended the land from within this cave since before the arrival of the tribes of Twin Elms. Garaz crosses his arms. Be warned, Estremor. We bleed life to nurture it. Our sacrifices may strike you as savage, but the health of these lands depends on them, and it's unseemly for guests to insult their hosts. In fact, the hardest mode to play the sequel requires you to do this. It is much safer like that. So you can kidnap a baby for goodness. Rumor is there was originally an oversight that you could finish Pillars 1 with a baby in your inventory, but once they realized they ported it in, Pillars 2 made it a special challenge. You know what? I'm sold. I am kidnapping a child. I am kidnapping a baby for goodness. Tell me about the sacrifices. Garaz spreads his stocky legs apart and locks his forearms. Everything must die to return a new Estremor. Through the sacrificial rites, we offer supplicants the honor of giving their most precious gift back to their brethren, back to the land. You were fucking close to telling me, but I wasn't sure you considered it a spoiler. Nah, you could have told me that. That's actually... Alright, yeah, we'll definitely do it. Now let me ask you this, though. Should I still poison that guy? Or should I just not poison him and just go get that baby? Can the baby be a pet? Can I put him in the pet slot or put her in the pet slot and then she'll like crawl around? Because that would be neat. Go get the baby first. Alright, deal. Baby is not a pet. Well, darn it. Why is the baby not a pet? The dwarf lifts his fist, thick and mottled by red scars. The blood gives us strength. Even the Glenfathans have come to depend on the blood paint. They brim with power before battle, all thanks to the sacrifices of their kin. Tell me about the Ethic Knoll. Our order has thrived for generations. Before we came to Twin Elms, our rights fed the lands of the Eastern Mountains. Now we share blood for our Glenfath. Garaz opens his palms. Strikes of red skin run through like flames. To everything that must end, our sacrifices bring a new beginning. He looks up. We sustain what's to come. Goodbye. Remember, Estremor, you're a guest in these halls. Respect our ways and we'll tolerate your presence among us. Don't pet strange babies. That's actually a good point. This is a big place. I thought this was like a single room or something. All of the Animphatha have called upon Ethnic Null for war paint at some point. They say that Ethnic Null was first learned to make war paint in the White March and were banished for it. Don't worry, Estremor. All who make sacrifices here do so willingly. Greatness requires sacrifice. Ooh.
Ready, Watcher.
I'm about to sacrifice this food into my stomach.
Hey.
These halls are not for the weak of spirit. There are still rites to be performed at the main altar. If you wish to observe, we only ask that you remain silent. The petitioner before you is swaddled in loose-fitting robes. Her hair is greasy and matted. A glossy film of sweat and grime coats her exposed skin. She has the swollen features of pregnancy and several missing teeth in her big grinning smile. As you approach, she slowly turns to you and examines you from head to toe, smiling the entire time. "Joyous day to you," she says. Despite coming from a wearied body, her voice sounds resonant and relaxed. "I am Naka, midwife and lore keeper." Ah, she's not 5 years old in Pillars 2. Hey Shira, how's it going? Her hands run across the slight bulge in her belly. She rolls her head back and sighs a relaxed purr. "Are you feeling well?" "Flawless," she replies. "Apologies, I should be left to my meditation. The rite of strength is invigorating, almost overwhelming to the senses." She reaches down and cradles her belly in her hands and turns away. "Well, you enjoy being pregnant. I'm happy for you." Ooh, hidden.
Always something new.
Lockpicks, I'll take them. Oh, that's a flame blight. I was like, why is there... why is there a fire walking around here? I thought I'd gotten some of Zahua's drugs for a minute. The gift of sacrifice transmutes blood into water and essence into power. Thick Null. Hi, I'm gonna run into the middle of your thing. Blood of
As
sacrifice.
souls split into multitudes, many lives come from one. The truest of power comes from sacrificing the shard to return its strength to the Mother Stone.
Excuse you, I was in the middle of reading something.
The many lives from one sounds familiar. I was taught that sometimes between death and rebirth, a soul splits perfectly in two, creating two viable souls from one. Sounds strange, but it makes sense when you think about how the population has risen in generations. It's kind of a mathematical necessity that some process like this is happening.
You know, but really, Orlands are so small they don't need to grow up a lot. Maybe the Autumn Stelgar has a very important role to play in this life cycle of souls. Sorry, sir, I'm not eating your soul. I'm merely serving a vital role in the natural process. Hiervias rolls his eye. I see what you're getting at, but it's not making me feel better. Fungus that grows on shit has an important role in a natural order. That wouldn't make me thrilled to spirit shift into a shit blossom. Good point. Just can't shake the fear that I'm the shard, and my destiny is to be fed to something greater. Hiervias stares at you, wide-eyed and silent for several moments. Guess worrying won't do me any good. Let's read those other tablets. True to form. Well, I was actually in the middle of reading this one. You interrupted me. Blood of sacrifice.
As souls split into multitudes.
Or you can, like, do that every time. Oh, here, I'll read it down here. The truest of power comes from sacrificing a shard to return his strength to the Mother Stone. Yeah, I've been playing this for a while, and in all honesty, I still, half the time, don't know necessarily what I'm doing. I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go. It wasn't my first CRPG, but... That's pretty wild, though. First CRPG. It's kind of neat. Like, I wish I could kind of... I wish there's a lot of games that I've played that sometimes I think about, and I'm like, I wish I could go back and experience that for the first time all over again. Like Baldur's Gate's one of those games. So old the CRPG used to mean computer role-playing game. Yeah. Essence within to nourish flesh and something or other.
The Anumfoth must stand before the autumnal beast in judgment. The wise endure, passing on their strength. The weak are eaten, their souls ripped to pieces and lost for all time, removing such weakness from the cycle. Well, I guess maybe my tribe wasn't entirely wrong about my spirit form being some sort of soul terror. I suppose I was hoping to hear a different answer on the matter, but...
It ever occurred to you that Galloway was testing you and you passed? That's... Hiravias' intact ear stands up and a smile crosses his face. That's a very good point. Why didn't I think of that? He runs his hands along the scar near his eyes. Scars near his eye. His posture becomes alive with nervous thought. Maybe I've been thinking about this all wrong. I mean, I survived an encounter with the Autumn Stelgar. Plenty of Anfatha can't say the same. That is an excellent line of games to be playing for first time. My first RPG was Ultima Exodus for the NES. It has not aged well, because I actually streamed that back in March, and it was a horrible stream. He lets out a long sigh and relaxes. For years I've been telling myself my tribe judged me unfairly. Guess they weren't completely wrong. Well, enough pointification for the moment, he says, patting down a cowlick of hair. I need to know more. Let's look at those other tablets. Oh my. This must be where they sacrifice people. Silent Chanter eyes you steadily.
As your blood flows, so shall your essence. Your life's energy shall feed the soil, and your soul's energy shall enrich the community. This is by your own choosing, supplicant?
Vaxanadu totally counts. Vaxanadu is an awesome game. I don't think I've played Wizards and Warriors 3. I kind of stopped at Iron Sword because it kicked my butt. Yes, the elf's voice is high but even. Dorth grips a hatchet with both hands and raises it over his head. He throws his shoulders forward and swings the weapon into the elf's chest, connecting with a meaty thump. Blood gushes around the blade and the sacrifice's screams rend the air. Hiravias' hand clutches his chest as his eyes widen in amazement. I did say I wanted to see the teachings of other druids, but I think I was imagining more dried herbs and chanting. We never did that in my circle back home. Never. Despite his earlier agreement, the elf thrashes upon the stone table, his torso arching while his arms and legs remain tied in place. Meanwhile, the dwarf spreads his arms wide and allows blood to splatter his robes. When the elf is finally silent and still, the dwarf pulls his hatchet from the body and wipes it on his hem. And that's that. Zelda 2 is pretty awesome too. Dug me some Zelda 2. Scani has discovered something. Oh, there. Okay.
Found something.
Wonder if I'm not supposed to be here. Hi, don't mind me. I found this
Always something new.
hole in the wall. You know what? Actually, can I do something here? Oh wait, you can't do it. You don't have hands. No, I'm just gonna try to shut the wall.
Ready, Watcher. It's done.
I absolutely loved Lufia 1 and 2. Super NES had so many good RPGs on it.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Hey.
Ready, Watcher.
Alright, I don't see anybody out here, do I? Yeah, that's it. Chime your bells while we're in the middle of trying to steal from these chests. Glanfathin Adraswen. +2 lore, +1 perception, +1 resolve, +1 dexterity.
Ready, Watcher.
Blood Testament. Only usable by monk. +2 raw damage per... +2% raw damage per wound. Ooh. I'm gonna have to save that for Zahua, because that looks nice. I'm just gonna put it in my stash so I can make sure I have it.
Right.
Hey, you may want to fix your wall. It
Ready, Watcher.
came down
Hey.
completely unexpectedly. I actually am surprised at how effective Zahua is, despite me not feeling I was using him that well. Like, he kicks all kinds of ass. They say that Ethic Null first learned to make war paint in the White March and were banished for it. Don't worry, Estimor, all who make sacrifices here do so willingly. That's nothing new. Hey Shiro, out of curiosity, did you manage to make it through the ancient cave in Lufia 2? The optional cave? Hard, isn't it? Zawa's quest is in a very specific area, extremely easy to miss, and he takes it like, it takes like, I don't know, 4 minutes to do. Now, at least I shouldn't end up missing it, because I pretty much have just been bringing him for all the White March content. Legit save all the treasure. So you did it on like original hardware, then you didn't do it on like emulation or anything like that? Man, that's good. That's a really hard thing to do. I ended up doing it on emulation with a save state years after it came out. There's actually a story behind it I'll have to tell at some point. It's kind of a sad story. It involves my mom. But yeah, I have done it. It was really, really tough. The elderly dwarf blinks at you, not quite looking at you. Her eyes are pale and clouded with cataracts. Welcome to Blood Sands. It is rare that an Estremor sets foot in these caverns. Her sightless eyes fix on you as she tilts her head. What brings you here, I wonder? What do you do here? I sell and maintain certain goods for the preservation of our order, and I perform some of our ritual sacrifices. Something more? How do these sacrifices work? Like any worthwhile ritual, it is too complex to explain in detail. It involves clotting the supplicant's essence, binding it to their life's blood, and drawing it into a container or vessel. A different dog is currently dreaming if you hear little wolves going on in the background. Tell me about Blood Sands. This is the raw, bloody heart of Eric Glanfath, where some come to give their essence back to their people. Her dry lips bend into a sardonic grin, where others seek a noble escape from their trials. Legacy of the builders to the tribes was not merely Aedra and stone, but a sense of community. And it is here that Glanfathans come to sacrifice what is most precious, even their own lives, to preserve it. I'd like to see what you have for sale. Not very much from the looks of it, just potions. Alright, let's see, got a path up here I haven't taken yet. Chanter grunts a long, low syllable echoes through the cave.
Is not the water sacrificed unto the plant, and the plant sacrificed unto livestock, and livestock unto man? When the lesser soul is sacrificed to strengthen the greater soul, the whole of our family grows stronger. I suppose I get the argument. We all have to kill and eat, constantly for that matter, to live. This sounds like it's talking about the Blood Sands rituals. I wonder how, or even if, this is relevant to me.
Have you considered that the Autumn Stelgar may have been sacrificed to you, that Galawain was making you stronger? His good ear stiffens while his mangled ear twitches and shakes. It hadn't occurred to me, but I did win the fight. If Galawain were truly displeased with me, I can't imagine I'd have walked away from that trial alive. I don't know. It just sounds like they're trying to justify their practices of killing people. Come on, let's see what the other tablets have to say. I think I have a Total War game. I think it's an old one, though. It's, I think, Rome. Total War Rome. I think it has a expansion pack that has, it's about Alexander. Where's this other tablet I missed? I must have missed a tablet somewhere. Fast forward mode. Okay, we read that. Oh, here we go.
Upon Burial Isle, the two men meet again for the first time, though it was the last thing they did. The many-colored beast rent them both asunder. They were, in death, merged and made whole again. Cute story. Two guys meet in the belly of a soul-eating creature. Maybe someday I'll eat two of the most insipid dear wooden lumberjacks, and they'll spend an eternity discussing beer whilst haunting my colon.
Perhaps the idea is that the Autumn Stelgar might not really destroy the souls. That could be true, Hervias mutters, but I guess I don't know what to make of this. I've never, knowingly at least, eaten anyone's soul. Maybe it's a trick I've yet to learn. Lucky me. I mean, if you add what the other tablets are saying about the Stelgar judging the Anam Fatha and reuniting Reuniting lesser souls and such. Hiravias folds his arms and looks at you pensively. Okay, the druid is right. I did need to read these tablets. Too bad I'm still confused. Is it safe to say Whale brought you where you needed to be? You can most certainly say that, Hiravias says with a smile. So my tribe was right. The Autumn Stelgar is some sort of soul-destroying beast, but I merely borrow the creature's form, not its reason for being. I doubt I'll change their minds about anything, and it's not like I want to develop a new group of druidic peers among us, artisans of sacrifice. So what now? Adding it up, I want to head to the Burial Isle. The name was mentioned in the tablets, and it's implied there might be other Autumn Stelgars there. I know now that Gallowayne sent his emissary to maul me for a good reason. It wasn't strictly malice, and I was sort of hoping to find out that the soul-eating talk was just rumors, alas. He smiles a nervous grin and shrugs. Maybe I'll meet the prey Gallowayne wants me to hunt, or I'll find out I'm the quarry. Do you want a rematch with the Autumn Stelgar? Not exactly. I'm older, wiser, and stronger than when we last tussled, but I can't really afford to lose any more eyes or ears. I'm fresh out of redundant organs. Alright, so we got the tablets done. We're moving forward with Hiravias' quest that we've been sitting on for a long time.
No. What's impressive is cleaving a man's spine without lopping the head clean off. That takes aim.
Did that once. My case was an accident, and I still wake up some nights feeling bad for him.
So let me see, was there anything here I have not done? One of these homes probably has that baby. We need to get that baby. Is there a baby up the ladder? No, there isn't. I missed some ship blossoms on the wall outside. Drat. Yeah, I did. Baby. What's this say? I can't read it.
Hey.
Thank you for the follow, Shiro. Thank you very, very much.
Before I knew it, the Stelgar was on top of me, and I was face down in the dirt.
Arrow to the throat. That stops him.
What? No! I was spirit shifted, and she was in heat, so I aimed for the throat, but not with an arrow.
This is one of those moments where having a webcam would probably be really funny, because, damn. Alright, let me see something here. Southeast of Hearthsong. Okay, so we're not even in the right area. We're in Elm's Reach. Let's go. Got the right voice for a late night stream. Well, I will tell you what I told Forza. I don't know if you were here for it, but I haven't done it yet. I am going to be doing late night streams pretty soon.